What is up, everybody? Hope you are doing all right. Welcome back. I missed you. Can I just tell you, I missed you last week. I know we didn't do the show live. We ended up doing the only live stream that I did was the panel that we had Carrie, Doug, and Mike up on Proof of Community. Man, I'll tell you what, that was awesome. I am so thankful that we had the chance to get a makeshift panel going again. We only had like 15 minutes, but we did it. We did it right. I appreciate them. I appreciate you being here too. Go ahead and smash that like button as you guys join. Make sure you are, if you are watching on X, make sure you're following over there. Hit the heart, do the things you got to. You can even repost the video out and tag some friends. And if you are watching on YouTube, you know the drill. Smash the like button. Smash the like. Make sure you're subscribed over there. Hit that noti bell. We got a lot of big content that's going to be coming out. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it like exclusive on YouTube or if I'm going to post it on both. The full interview with Sonny definitely will be on YouTube, just because we'll get some good traffic coming over for that. But and you know, maybe we'll do like a fun giveaway along with that as well. I'm really excited about the VeChain relationship. I mean, it was really cool to finally meet Sonny and get to meet him and talk with him in person. And also, as you guys know, I'm looking over at my calendar here. June 14th, on behalf of like the VeChain people. So Paisan asked, he's going to be in, I think, Azerbaijan, and so he had asked if I would host the VeChain group at the Atlanta UFC event June 14th, I believe is the date. So I will be here doing that. So it's all just kind of lined up. It's a lot of good fun. So make sure you are subscribed over on the YouTube channel for that video later this week. Woo! There we go. How is everybody doing? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's go, my people. Man, I've had such a good time hanging out with all my Canadian brothers and sisters last week. It was so much fun up there at those two conferences. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit later. We did talk about it this morning, so make sure you are tuned into the breakfast show, 9 a.m. Eastern. We're bringing that back Monday through Friday. That's the breakfast table, man. Anything goes there. We just come in the morning and hang out, chit chat, join the conversation, all that stuff. We'll have some good fun with that. We'll talk about meme coins. We'll talk about the markets. We'll just talk about whatever. That's the whole point. So we're back to doing that Monday through Friday. But I appreciate you guys being here. What's our medal count like today? Who got it? Mike Lowry with the gold. Let's go, buddy. Congratulations there. DJ and Brian picking up a silver, and Brian Gensler picking up the bronze. Who got the double bronze? It would have been Maninja Fourth picking up the double bronze. The fourth place, which is also a medal. We could do 5 places. We could find actually what we'll do is restructure the top 5 places. And we'll figure out, we'll do rewards and all that stuff. A lot of things are coming. We got some really good ideas that are in my mind and some that we're starting to build out a little bit more. So we'll have some fun building that stuff out for the show. So thank you for joining us again. Make sure you smash the like button, do the things you got to do. So we are going to get through a couple headlines after we get through the markets, and then we'll look at some charts. I see, was it Brian who had said 10-year is still going up? So are you looking at the 10-year bond yields? What are you looking at? So we got to look and see what you're talking about. Because 10-year bonds are definitely not going up. They're at 447, but we'll figure that out. We'll figure out what you mean. We'll get into the charts on that when we get over into the charts. But really quick, we'll just do a little bit of house cleaning here. Make sure we stay tuned, this week, because if you didn't get the Substack, the W3BC Weekly Alpha comes out every Saturday. Make sure that you're signed up for it. I'll drop the link in the chat here in a second, but I did let you know before I left for Toronto, we stabled out 890 in USDC. So that means the shrimp and boats, we dry docked them all week. While I was up in Toronto, we had the cleaning crews come, scrape up off the barnacles and everything. So we're bringing and fresh paint the hulls and everything, nice, wax them up, and just so they cruise right through the water. Let's go to the best shrimping spots. So that's the goal this week. Just so happens things are down today. as most of y'all probably know, and we'll look at the broad market here in just a second. So that means that we have got to build an entirely new shrimping portfolio. Remember, we started on April 7th with $500. We did $100 in each coin, and then we got $890 out of that. So that's what we're working with. And so we'll obviously, when we get to coin market cap today, we'll take a look at the losers, the shrimpies, see what we can find in that section right there. So I believe that's it for housekeeping as far as I'm concerned. I mean, unless you still need to be reminded to smash the like button, do the follows and the subscribes and all that stuff. Toronto, I'm going to be putting together a lot of content about what happened in Toronto, all the fun stuff that we did, the conferences, the interviews, all that. I got a ton of footage to go through. So get ready. That stuff will start coming out very soon. So definitely pumped to get that rolling. Let's see. Yes, bond yield 4.48. What's up, Mike, the modern Canadian? Let's go, Vegas, baby. Can't wait. Getting his backpack right now, getting the last minute stuff from Amazon. You know, you got to get the stuff. I was already, it's funny. I was back in my office yesterday, putting all the tech back and everything, trying to figure, what am I going to do next, for the next one? How am I going to, shrink down my gear size and all that stuff? And oh man, that's same thing. I'm already like, how do I attach this light to here? How do I put this microphone somewhere else? Yada, yada, yada. I tell you what, man, it's a process, but it's exciting. So see you guys in Vegas. All right. Call of Dragons advert. Oh, got hit with a little mid-roll, huh? Hit you with that mid-roll. Pow, pow, pow. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. All right. Let's do this. Let's jump into the markets. You found a cool bracket that attaches to the gimbal for the road. Nice, man. Love to hear that. Can't wait to see it. All right. So coin market cap. Let's just do a refresh just to make sure we're looking at the right stuff. The market cap's 3.32 trillion, so we're down 1% today. It's up a little bit. Obviously, we missed all last week, so it is up. When I was refreshing my numbers on my sheet, leading into the show today, we were like way up from where we were, 2 weeks ago, but certainly down from some, some recent days. It's just been a while since we did the show. Very glad to be back with you guys. Dominance here says 62.9%. We know that's a little bit off. It's about closer to 64%. We'll get to that when we get to trading view. Gas at 3. Okay. Fear and greed at 71. That is up a little bit from what we had. We had 70, and then our altcoin index was at 28, if I'm not mistaken. It's now at 26. But let's go check out a little. Let's pull the shrimping boats out. Let's see what we got here. In case you are not familiar, to go shrimping, shrimps are bottom feeders. Okay, so we feed off the bottom when we go shrimping, and that's what we need to do right now. But you'll see, look, we got a lot of coins above Bitcoin as far as performance. This is the top 100 coins and their performance over the last 90 days. So usually the good barometric of like, where's the market at is Bitcoin, 11.42%. Now, when we were doing this before, everything above it was kind of trash. And there's actually some good coins above it. So some things are definitely outperforming Bitcoin. But a lot of things are not. And then so you'll see right here now, this is where we get into the negatives. Now, baby, get those trolling motors going. Get your depth finders out, baby, because we are shrimping now. We've got pie, no thank you. Now, this does not excite me as much, because when we first did this exercise, we had a lot of coins that were in the 70s and 60% down. However, that dip may be over. So we'll take what we can get. So we want to see what would be good to grab out of the, the pool that we have here. Now we've got Pi down 57%. Alito 46%. You got Uniswap 34%. So you got Mantle, OP, Dexy, Jupe, Theta. So you've got some coins on here. Now I just saw some news that Tezos is going to have is there some kind of a comeback for Tezos? And I got some Tezos stickers that I just happened to randomly get at the conference, and they're not on my desk anymore. So maybe I'm not supposed to get it, but I definitely would like to at least get one or two in this range, like in the 30s into the high 20s. So definitely, see what we can do there as far as Pi dumped on that news from Consensus. I didn't hear anything about Pi at Consensus. What happened? ONDO Yeah, I mean, ONDO for sure. I mean, we should definitely throw some ONDO in the shrimping portfolio. That would make sense to do. Just because we're ONDO fans. I gotta. If you didn't check the morning show this morning, it is okay. But I did let everybody know, and you did probably see some posts throughout the week last week. But I connected pretty well with mostly everybody there at the ONDO team, and we had a fantastic time. I had an amazing time getting a chance to go to the Chainlink ONDO and FTSE party. FTSE is FTSE, and that's like an extension of the London Stock Exchange. And so I had gotten an invite to go to that and connected with people at all the different partner projects that were throwing that party, and then some other groups. Man, I'll tell you what, it was a great thing. So huge. I am like even more bullish on ONDO after all that stuff, and so let's definitely throw some in the ONDO port or in the shrimping port. We'll throw some ONDO in there, probably. Trump, there's no reason for it to pump anymore, only because like the snapshot's done for the dinner this week, which by the way, we're going to get through the news. I got an article about that. But really the article is just to tee up. We're going to do a video reaction. So I've got a video about that, and we'll just kind of go through it and do a little live reaction to it. And, we'll chat, with, me, you in the video. So maybe some ICP. I don't know. Poll, could that be? Is there any news for poll? So we got to take a look at this, but I definitely like that ONDO. It's in our first, little grouping here that we can see. So, we'll probably add that to the port because we expect that thing to rip at some point. Definitely. ICP at some point has to take off. I know, I'm with you there. And I believe there was some news about Tezos. What was the news about Tezos? Not Texos. Tezos crypto. Tezos crypto news. I'll share this one with you. Arthur Brightman is betting on tokenized uranium. This is what the headline was that I saw. I did not pick this for our show, but obviously I should have because we're talking about it. But there you go, tokenized uranium, and it could be Tezos' big comeback. So maybe, is it going to juice it like soon? Like that's not enough. If this article already came out, and so we'll have to see what happened with Tezos. I mean, it's obviously still down here. It's still down, it's down 2.5% on the day. How's the weekly look? Still sliding, man. Still sliding. On the monthly, so we have been technically coming downhill since May 13th. So for about a week. Let's look at the year. Oh, I take that back. We have been coming down the hill since December 7th, 2024. Oh, man, this is like one of those ones where if this thing comes back that was $1.50 in December. Now, I know a lot of things were like way up in December, way up in December. ICP waiting for the Caffeine AI release. What is Caffeine AI? Caffeine AI ICP. Here we go. This is an article from April 10th. Let's click this one. Caffeine AI is what we should focus, or is it a lost market? Caffeine AI is being sold as a unique product that leverages ICP unique architecture. Every week, we see advertising in the sector by big tech companies. We're big competitors against the giants. Really doesn't even make sense to compete. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, back to the shrimping. I'm sorry. Is that what we were on, right? We didn't start our articles yet. Woohoo! My goodness. Let's go. All right. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on in the shrimping world right now. Over the next several hours, maybe we'll keep some in stable and then start adding slowly instead of going all at once like we did to kick it off. I mean, it made sense to do that right when we kicked it off, but we'll want to definitely do some research in some of these, and maybe instead of charts today, let's just do that. Let's just go through some of these. Let's see what's up with Mantle. Why is Mantle down so much? We'll go here. All right. 7-day going down. Put this thing on the monthly. Put it on the yearly. Let's go to their website. Take a look here. Innovating the future of on-chain finance. Whoa, that's crazy. A world where finance is free, efficient, and accessible, powered by tokenized technology and open to all. Well, let's see. Where can we find some Mantle news? Events? Cook? Let them cook. Mantle Cookathon? Tuesday, May 20th. That's tomorrow. So they're in Rome? By the way, this Luma for all your events for these crypto conferences, what a win. What a win. Man, I'll tell you what, it was so easy to stay organized, have everything in the calendar, plus you can like boom get the tickets right to your, your Apple Wallet or whatever. Made it so easy. So easy. Hey, Corey's in the chat over on X, my guy. Appreciate you for tapping in, my brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, Mike, my phone was going beep, boop, boop, boop. Just bombarded with links. You're funny, man. No worries. That's hilarious. Appreciate you guys all being here. Let's go. Mantle blast from the past. Thought that they had run away. I know. Yeah. I mean, same. I hadn't thought about Mantle in quite some time. So Cook 01. This, if you guys happen to be, anybody happens to be in, is this a digital? Can you do this digitally? Virtual. Yeah, there you go. Let's register for it. Well, I won't do that live. So I'll keep that registration tab open and I'm going to register for the Mantle Cook. It's a virtual thing. We'll check that out. Maybe we'll add some Mantle to the port, to the shrimp import. Definitely going to keep it on our, what I'll do is minimize this right here. There we go. All right. So let's go back to the overall market. We'll do some more shrimp in the rest of the week. We'll definitely do some more shrimp in the rest of the week. But I want to sign up for that Mantle thing. I want to take a look at some other stuff. So we will end up looking at some charts. We don't have to dig deep on the shrimp and charts today. We know we got the boats out. They're gonna just throw the nets. So we'll get it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, my friends. All right, where are we at here with the market? 105.4. Let's just refresh again just to make sure. 105.321 at Bitcoin. It is up on the hour, on the day, on the week. Love to see that. So is Ethereum, 25.19. It both up about a little over 2% on the week. Not much to brag about for the hour and the daily, though. Everything else is down in some way, shape, or form across those three time frames. You got XRP to 237, down almost 8% on the week. BNB to 646, down 2.5% on the week. You got Solana to 165, down almost 4% on the week. My gosh. Dogecoin sitting at number 8. Man, I feel like 8, 9, 10. These things are not changing. You got Dogecoin at 22 cents. Let's see. That one is down almost 4% today. And then you got Cardano, 73 cents, almost 74 cents, down almost 10% in the week. And then rounding out to 10, you got Tron, TRX, at 26.5 cents, doing down a little, like just under 4% on the week. There you go. Sweet at number 11, Chainlink at number 12. Shout out to the Link Marines. Let's get it. Let's see. AVAX 13. That's, everything's down a little bit today. I don't think we have any gainers really to report, right? There you go. 1.76% for the KuCoin token. That's it. Let's see what's down. Any ups? We got to get some opportunities here. Now, Brett. Now, typically, we're only shrimping from the top 100. But we could probably, that's its performance on the last. Now, this is something I'm thinking about. We could pick some daily losers to start moving things around a little bit faster, right? So why don't we get some Brett? It's down 6.61% today. We're going to add that to the shrimp import. I don't think that's a bad idea. Toncoin, maybe. Fetch, we had some fetch in the last run, and it did really well for us. If I'm not mistaken, that was it was it was just a little over a dub up when we, I think it was at 204. something like that. When we caught that one out, it was up high, man. It was like 225 or so. It was maybe even a little bit higher when it ran, and then we just didn't quite catch it. But hey, we still caught the dub up. So some virtuals. Solana's down 4%. All right, we're gonna kind of move slowly with the fast, maybe daily moves, just to see kind of what's moving like that. So all right, I'll update after the show, but we'll probably get a little Brett and see what happens. Let's see if we can get a little Popski on that. Anything losing on the week? Still got to figure out what that news is that having a consensus about Pi. I didn't hear anything there, and if I did, I don't remember it, so it didn't seem impactful to me. A lot of other really big news that I do remember: Robinhood buying TokenFi or WonderFi, excuse me. A lot of big things happening. Let's see, Celestia 16% down on the week. Lido Dow 16% on the week. Optimism, that may be one to scoop up a little bit of. I mean, I know it's kind of holding steady within the last day or so, but down 15.5% on the week. We could see a nice little return on that. Psy down 14% on the week, almost 5%, a little over 4% on the day. Okay, all right. Let's see how this shakes out. Let's see how the afternoon session shakes out. We may want to. Brett has some awesome staking rewards, and this could be why it's still doing so well. I mean, that's a really good point. I also think that it's like a really it's and so this is kind of what my whole thought process was going into this before. I think we had the extended meme, and then where I think we're starting to return to somewhat of the meme again is that I had originally thought that Brett was going to be the runner, Whiff was going to be the runner, right? Because those were like the leading meme coins on those chains. But I feel like the amount of dilution that there is now in the meme coin scene, that however you get into it, like someone's going to bring you into it, and it's going to be through that meme coin. It's not going to be traditionally like it was, where there was only like several options. Like there's just so many more options. And I would, yeah, it's great if you come in and buy Brett, but if you also find a community that is if they think like you, or it's something that's geared towards similar people or whatever, that would make more sense, because then maybe you're going to have a better experience. And I know ultimately that opens the door to maybe the potential of more rugs, but there are some good people that run projects that don't have any intention to rug it, right? And so you just got to figure out where you like, when for the new people, like when they come in, or if you were to help someone come into the space, like what would you want to navigate them to? Would you want to navigate them to Brett that has Brett's got a 700, or it's got a $700 million market cap, right? So almost $1 billion. So how much more could it do? I mean, it could go big, right? It could go big. Or, do you if you're a part of, this community where maybe not only do you have the coin, but, you meet in the voice chat and you're building a business, or there's some kind of reward for, some kind of in real life business that you get, a token reward to for whatever, just because that's Web3, maybe that's better for you to bring your friend in because he or she enjoys that same stuff. I don't know. These stale meme coins that are from legacy, that have hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollar market caps. I mean, what's the point? I mean, those serve no purpose, whereas some meme coins will actually have utility that will do something good. Now, you'd say that it might have a staking reward that is better than others. Okay, that's different. Now, most meme coins are just that. They do literally nothing. Fart coin when pit with Popcat. Yep. Floki's good one too. Bonk has a lot of utility. Bonk. So things with like Bonk, sure. And they not only do they sponsor, say, Crypto Fight Night. It's on my gloves back there. But they also are doing the stadium. It's Bonk Stadium for karate combat. So like they're getting involved in that stuff too. I think that is like, you start to really put some utility like that in there with a recognizable brand. And then, we know that these combat sports are super freaking popular in crypto right now. And so, it does make sense. I do like the idea of Bonk making a little, what does that mean? Market cap at 1.6 billion. That's a big one. That's a big one. I don't think I've ever been to the Bonk website. Yeah, sure. Bonk, more than ordinary. Bonk rewards, Bonk mark, Bonk scooper, Bonk live, Bonk bets. What's Bonk bets? Can't get into Bonk bets. Not available in the region. I probably got to put the VPN on here. This is okay. So it's like a whole ecosystem, and you can access it right here from bonkcoin.com. Okay. What do you got here? Integrations. You got DeFi's, exchange, devs and tools, art, sports, and games. What's specifically there? Okay. Fun. All right. Well, that's the Bonk ecosystem in a nutshell. 30,000 foot view. All right, where are we at now? If we wanted to get going, let's get going on some articles. Let's roll through these. I think it is time to get through some news, guys. Make sure that you smash that like button. Actually, don't do it for me. Oh, Dad, how about this one? All right, there you go. And let's go share this one here. Galaxy Digital lists on NASDAQ, seeks to tokenize shares. The company did have a weak Q1. They suffered a loss of $295 in net income, according to company investor reports. Seriously, 295. There's no way that that's true. 295 million. Galaxy Digital shares began trading on the NASDAQ stock exchange May 16th, completing a years-long process that CEO Mike Novo, called unfair and infuriating. The company, an infrastructure company, which also listed in Canada, opened trading at $23.50. Trading began on the same day Galaxy disclosed that it's working with the SEC to tokenize their shares, and according to Bloomberg, the tokens representing Galaxy Digital shares could be used in decentralized finance applications like borrowing or lending. Now, they are among several other companies looking to access the U.S. markets under a friendlier regulatory regime in the country. Companies also exploring and working on U.S. listings include Metaplanet, Circle, Kraken, and Gemini. And trading platform eToro completed a listing on May 14th. There you go. The company's got $7 billion in assets on the platform, suffered a loss of $295 million in the first quarter of this year. We do know that the tokenization world is gaining traction. Expecting a huge run over the next couple of years, guys. You conservatively, they say 16 trillion. I think it's going to be more like 50 trillion by 2030, but that's, we'll figure out when we get there. But one rising trend is tokenizing securities, especially turning assets like stocks and treasury bonds into tradable tokens on the blockchain. There you go. Robinhood, we know, just picked up WonderFi, which is a big move as well. And there's a lot of rumors about, what Robinhood and ONDO are cooking up in the background, right? Like, obviously, they did the WonderFi thing. They, have these conversations about Solana and ONDO are like, they're running side by side right now. So it's really interesting what you're hearing. I'm hearing other people say these rumors now, not just my crew in the ONDO circles. So I'm just saying, something to pay attention to. I'm not spreading. I'm not making up the rumors. I'm just spreading it. All right, you hear me? All right. let's see what else we got here at the, let's see, there was a roundtable May 12th. That was last week. Paul Atkins, our chair, said he compared the tokenization of assets to the music industry moving from analog to digital, which according to Atkins greatly benefited the American economy. Boom. All right. I think that is something that, the more integrations you think about Galaxy Digital going on NASDAQ, and then you're like, oh, what the point is this? Like, that's TradFi stuff, that's stock market stuff. But remember, if they can successfully tokenize this, that is something that then we can, I would assume, be running in parallel, which, let's go. Next article, XRP family, XRP, throw it up. The XRP lawyer, we know who he is, John Deaton. He's warning what will happen if the stablecoin bill fails. It could freeze crypto progress. They'll push this thing through. The Genius Act is back on the Senate floor, and while it's being framed as a modest bipartisan move towards stablecoin regulation, not everyone is convinced it's on track. John Deaton thinks failure to pass now could freeze real progress in crypto laws until after the midterm U.S. elections, maybe longer. Oof. Let's see. He represents XRP holders. Maybe not. Is not predicting collapse, but he is looking at the political math, and with the narrowest House majority since 1931 and the usual midterm power shift looming, he sees a small window closing fact. Pass it. Pass the Genius Act. Let's go. Let's go. Make it happen. You just want it to happen right. I mean, everything's moving so fast, and I feel like if it's slowed down just to make sure that everybody understands what's happening, we should be on board with that. He also points out what is missing. The bill cuts out interest payments for stablecoin holders, a move aimed at keeping banks comfortable. That concession, he says, is about policy, less about policy, more about appeasing the bank lobby. Man, these little ads that they got here are like kind of glitchy. We're done with that side just because of that. Franklin Templeton? Franklin taps blockchain to offer yield on idle payroll funds. Franklin's new payroll treasury yield lets companies earn DeFi yields on idle payroll funds using audited smart contracts for full self-custody. There you go. Let's see. No, this is not Franklin Templeton, by the way. This is a hybrid cash and crypto payroll provider called Franklin, and they're launching their new initiative that aims to turn idle sitting payroll into an opportunity for yield. Let's see, their solution's called Payroll Treasury Yield. Okay. They said the new offering integrates Summer.fi, a decentralized finance lending platform to allow companies to deposit stablecoin-dominated payroll reserves into smart contract-based lending pools. There you go. Megan Knapp, she's the founder and CEO of Franklin, said the problem that Franklin solves is twofold. For companies that have already integrated crypto into their balance sheets, Franklin helps them use those assets to manage their operations. But for the broader market, we are enabling business models for the future, where model moves instantly, more intelligently, and to more globally. Let's see. Alternative to T-bills. Frank said a new offering is an alternative to traditional treasury tools like sweep accounts or T-bills, often involving operational complexity and limited returns. There you go. We got another quote from our friend here. Traditional payments in the next decade will run entirely on blockchain, public blockchain rails as a wholesale replacement to ACH and SWIFT. There you go. XRP Army, gonna happen. I'm driven by the tennis court Serena played in Compton, California. My Ninja Fourth. There you go. Hey, first off, can I just say, like, if that is how your day is going, I'm excited. Like, that's a big day. Serena. Now, did Serena both Venus, Serena and Venus, did they both play there? Serena was the one who ended up being more successful, even though they were both extremely successful, right? Okay. Venus. Yep. Okay. All right, there you go. Raising interest in yield generating strategies. I'll tell you what, all this stuff is when you think about how important the RWA and tokenization aspect and role is for blockchain and where it's all going, and you go to some of the sessions and panels at these conferences to listen to high level people talk about this stuff, regulators. It is just absolutely amazing. what is coming, and then you go to some of the private events where you get to hear some other information that is not public consumption, public knowledge, and it is just, I tell you what, there's a lot of good things coming. And when you look at even the short term, if you see price go down, or it's funny because I did one of the questions that I asked a lot of people at the conference, and it was very simple: are you bullish or bearish on crypto? And some people would just give me a very simple answer, and some people would be a little bit more eloquent, or they would go on a little bit more about it. But some people did say bearish. Some people said that right now they're short-term bearish. Long-term extremely bullish on where we are currently, where we're headed, and kind of all of that in between. But really in the short term, just kind of bearish on this. And for me, it was interesting to hear all the different perspectives, and to kind of hear why. And I'm looking forward to putting that content out there, because that should definitely be coming out pretty soon here. I'm start going through all of that footage. I got basically 2 full memory cards, and so super excited to get that stuff out and start building some of that stuff up. So bullish. Yeah, why don't you guys in the chat, if you are bullish or bearish, type it in the chat. I want to know right now, and I'll even do I'll do a poll over on YouTube for that as well, just to get that thing. Are you bullish, bearish? I should do like frowny faces and everything on the bearish one to encourage you not to do that. But I want you to authentically pick what you are. And even if it is short-term bearish, that's okay. But again, the whole idea of, we hear all this stuff, you hear these news articles, it's just, remember, and I said this before I left town, you gotta watch what's happening. You're not just looking at headlines and forming your opinions on that. Like, really dig into it and see what's happening. And I'm telling you, the bullish divergence, where I know we did probably break out of the actual downtrend, but at the end of the day, we're still way down. But the whole idea of where we're headed is just so crazy. Again, you hear some of these conversations that not everybody gets to hear, and you just can't help but be even more bullish on where we're going with crypto. So, all right, what is up? Bullish, baby. 75% over on the poll on YouTube. Bullish. Love to see that. Let's go. Tito 420, my fam. What is up? Hope y'all are crushing it. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a great week last week. I know we didn't get to connect. I was in Toronto doing some MC work, doing some media stuff, got some crazy interviews. If you missed the beginning of the show, first off, thanks for being here, guys. Make sure you smash the like button. But we did some crazy interviews while we were out in Toronto. I got the one with Sunny Liu coming out pretty soon. We interviewed the CEO founder of Arculus Wallet. I got, a couple, it just all different levels and fun for me. Zach, founder of Genzio Media, like that was a fun conversation. I had a really good time doing that. So looking forward to putting all that stuff out. Going to be having it very soon. Probably put some little teasers out. Maybe later today. We'll see. I got to get into the memory cards, see which one I'm going to plug in first. So, all right. That is that article. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Come on, do the things. All right, here is some Cosmos news. Colombia's central bank is going to issue the first CBDC on Cosmos, says Interchain Labs CEO. Programmable money. Interchain Labs announced it's collaborating with a consortium of mega banks and the Colombian government to pilot the country's first CBDC, or a central bank digital currency, if you were unfamiliar, on the Cosmos network using IBC Eureka as its primary transfer protocol. The initiative seeks to modernize cross-border settlements by leveraging the efficiency of programmable money without compromising institutional security. Here we go. When you're the Colombian government, there's no way for you trusting anyone except for yourself, said Magnus Marinek, the CEO of Interchain Labs. To you, crypto is so scary. Imagine you're a president and you suffer a hack. You're going to take the blame. So having technology they can understand and change is the most important thing in terms of security assumptions. He also noted that this mirrors the strategy of real-world asset issuers such as ONDO Finance, which have onboarded investors including Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and BlackRock in building dedicated Cosmos chains. These issuer to configure their own validator parameters, so transfer occurs only upon pre-approved conditions. There you go, ONDO. And in more news, and I didn't even know ONDO was in this article. Let's go. They're everywhere, man. I'll tell you what. They're writing it. They are just writing the book on this right now. Here we got another quote. IBC Eureka only rests upon the trust assumptions of your blockchain. If your blockchain has validators that are institutions you trust, then you don't have to trust anyone except the people that you're sending assets to. The pilot allows Colombia's central bank and partner banks to define and modify their list of trusted validators, effectively creating a permission CBDC rail atop a public network. All right. We all know they're coming. Does the CBDC worry you? So that's a really good question, Doug. I want to hear what you guys think about that. We can I can change the we'll change the poll, but I want to know in the chat now. So 80% are bullish. So we're gonna end that. We are freaking bullish, baby. So start a poll. Does CBDC scare you? And here's kind of what you got to think about it, is that really you got no choice. It's happening. It will happen here one way or the other. And so just learn that that's what's going to happen. Hopefully, there's not an inability, for people like in crypto already, like, oh, because you have legacy Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever, right? That it doesn't work for whatever, if like that would be the only thing that'd be like, oh, we're fucked if you've got to basically start fresh. And I doubt that would be the case, right? Especially if they're trying to buy as much Bitcoin as they can. But with that being the idea, some of the stuff that you hear when it was China who had developed, or you had learned that, some of the parameters, what was going on, were like, if you didn't spend all of your CBDC that you were getting, or all your digital yuan that you were getting, that it could be taken back. You were not allowed to save, all that kind of stuff. So in some sense, like, yeah, that that's frightening for the people who don't do decentralized finance, who don't do self custody, all that stuff. And that's why it is important. However, we do talk about how it is also important to remember that some people really can't do the self custody thing. Everybody should have the option, but not everybody's got the capacity. And so with that being said, the idea of getting your digital money taken back, it sucks, but that's possible. And that's why you would want to get your CBDCs and convert them over to Bitcoin, or convert them over to Ethereum or Solana, or on whatever you can convert them into as far as crypto goes. Get them out of the CBDC as soon as possible and get them into your own custody. I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but that would be my recommendation. It's not going to scare me. It's just make sure you don't keep just like most people in crypto now don't keep all their shit in fiat. Like, it's that same thing. Just don't keep all your shit in the CBDC. Like, keep whatever the necessity is for having this and how we use it and what it's for. Keep that for that. And that's it. And slide your shit over when you need more money in there, or however. Again, we don't exactly know how it's going to work, but yeah, I think you get the idea of what I'm saying. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup, man? Probably not the Chicago Blackhawks, and that's all I ever care about. We got to see the Leafs get smoked like a cheap cigar while we were in Toronto. Oh my God. I think they lost like 6-0 or something. Real disappointing. But it is what it is, as they say. Hide it in a cold wallet. Yeah, just put all your CBD in a cold wallet. CBD. Put all your CBDs in a cold wallet. Your CBDCs, your central bank digital currencies. All right, we're going to get on to our next article here. The next article is about Strategy adding another 7,390 Bitcoin, which was $765 million, but also got hit with a class action lawsuit. Michael Saylor's Strategy bagged another almost 7,400 Bitcoin last week. He also got hit with a class action lawsuit. Let's see what happened. See, we know that they acquired the Bitcoin. We got that. He's got too many as it is. I actually, you guys know me. I think that Michael Saylor is not like, the greatest thing for crypto. I don't think that that's a really good plan to have that much like, with one person with much. And maybe as it turns out, he's Satoshi, who knows? And so then he's got a double bag. He's got, his Satoshi. I'm not even going to continue with this anymore. So it's just too much. But anyway, I met a bunch of other people in Toronto that feel the exact same way as me. So I know that I'm not alone, and I feel great about that. But according to a May 19th filing with the SEC, the company was the receipt of a class action lawsuit. The suit accuses strategy officials of having failed to represent the nature of Bitcoin investment accurately. What does that mean? As of May 18th, Strategy holds 230,000 Bitcoin acquired for around $40 billion at an average price of $69,726 per coin. At current prices, the current holdings are valued at more than $59 billion, representing an unrealized gain of $19 billion or 47%. According to CoinMarketCap data, Bitcoin traded, okay. The suit claims that the named defendants made false and or misleading statements with respect to and or failed to disclose information with respect to the anticipated profitability of our Bitcoin-focused investment strategy and treasury operations and the various risks associated with Bitcoin's volatility. He explained that the suit seems to be people complaining that they understood how much money they could lose if Bitcoin went down. Still, he argued that the risks were not understated. You're buying a company that is self-labeled as leverage on Bitcoin. What do you expect? Okay, so that's interesting. I mean, I would agree. Like there's also the other guy who's like filing the suit to get the identity of Satoshi known. Like, what's up with some of these fucking idiots? Like, just sell your shares and move on. Right? Like it's very clear the direction that he was going in it. And if you didn't agree with it, like sell your shares and move on. But he's gonna make a ton of fucking money on this. Let's see. Other companies are following in their footsteps, yada yada yada. Okay. Fucking lawyers, man. And I mean there was the worst is the people who did the class action lawsuits on the NFTs because they lost money. Like you knew what you were doing. It'd be like saying like doing a class action lawsuit because you lost money trading meme coins. Like if that's you, go back to your mom's basement because like that's what you need to do. I have a term for all of that kind of stuff. You guys know if you hung out with me in the real life at the conferences, I had a lot of conversations about a lot of whatever things that have been happening in the past or whatever, and I refer to the uneducated fucking idiots online as mouth breathers, and the mouth breathers are out. They're always out saying dumbass things for clicks because they think someone might see it and that's their 10 seconds to fame because they're going to get some likes on it or whatever. But the mouth breathers, man, mouth breathers. All right, here is our last article, and this is actually going to tie into the video that we're going to watch about some opinions on this. But this is the Trump meme coin dinner this week, May 22nd, also Bitcoin Pizza Day. Make sure you guys tune into your local Pizza Dow pizza party. We'll be throwing the one here in Atlanta, baby. So we'll go through this really quick. We'll go through the key points, and then we're going to watch the video. Hopefully we don't get hit with an ad, and we may. And I'll figure out. We'll see. I got hit with an ad beforehand, so maybe you paused it at the right time. We'll see. So meme coin dinner with President Trump approaches. Appears most of the attendees will be people from other countries. Now, why does that matter? Well, remember, you get I think it's at the White House. If it's not like at the White House, it's somewhere near the White House at maybe one of his golf clubs. Also, the top 25 people get like a VIP exclusive tour I believe, of the White House. Many wallets with the top holders are tied to international exchanges like Binance that don't service U.S. customers. And the nature of the anonymous wallets raises question about the true identities and motivations of the token's largest holders. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so here's the video. Let's watch this, and I'll pause it throughout and just to make some comments.
I've been invited to a dinner with the president. Who's on that guest list? We're going to dig
really quick. Can you guys hear that?
into that next. This is Bloomberg.
I'm in the chat. Make sure you guys can hear that, right?
As it relates to the Trump family, I guess what I would say, my message to the Trump family would be, be transparent. If you're not doing anything wrong, I'll accept on faith that you're not doing anything wrong, but be transparent, because we're in a partisan tribal environment and you got to let people know exactly what you're doing. Otherwise, people are going to assume the worst.
That is 100% a fact. And as long as, this is a free market, right? Everybody gets the opportunity to get rich. I do not hold against Eric and Don Jr. for launching all these companies, and they will be called visionaries. They had the money, they had the capital to get this stuff. Good for them. This is an emerging market. There is nothing wrong with that. Their father's the president. Who cares? This is for anybody and everybody to get involved. Stop complaining and take action. If you feel like this is unfair, stop complaining and do something.
And that was Anthony Scaramucci.
But be transparent.
On Bloomberg on Monday, saying how he thinks that the Trump family should be transparent when it comes to its involvement in the crypto industry. And speaking of crypto and President Trump, the Trump meme coin buyers have been invited to a special dinner with the president at one of the country clubs that he owns. You can see these images are from the official website for the event. 220 Trump coin holders, determined by their holdings of the meme coin, have been granted a seat. And the dinner is set for next Thursday, but it's unclear who will actually be in attendance. Now, the list of attendees only shows the names of digital wallets, and a Bloomberg report has dug into that data in an effort to see who might actually be at this dinner with the president. Let's bring in one of the investigative reporters behind the report, Anthony.
And I wonder, and I, obviously I'm not a token holder for the Trump meme coin, nor would I be in the top 20 anyway. I think you needed at one point, you needed about 400 and something $1,000 worth of the coin to be considered within that top 20, 220, excuse me.
Cormier. Now, this data that we have found, what does it say exactly about the people who have been buying the coin and what kind of access they want with the president?
That's a really great question. It's really difficult to know, as you guys both know, who is actually behind some of these wallets. Crypto by nature is super opaque. In this case, they only have to list a 3 or 4 letter username. So it's really impossible to know who's going to be in a room with the president during this sort of vital moment. So what we did is we downloaded the entire leaderboard and we went one by one to understand where they acquired their stakes. Because as you probably know, there are certain exchanges that are based offshore that are not allowed to service American customers. They do KYC, know your customer checks. You're required to give them a passport or an ID so that they are sure you are not American. So we were reasonably able to conclude that those are people who are foreign buyers. We found that more than half of the people on that leaderboard were foreign.
That's really interesting, right? Are they actually going to be there? Are they going to be able to come in? I mean, obviously, if you've got, $500,000 in the Trump coin, you probably got the ability to fly in. Are they going to be allowed? Do they have to do background checks in order to be in the same room as the president? How is all of this going to work? Especially are you going to, do you get an option to say, no, actually, no, I don't want to give up my identity. So nope, not going. How is this going to look? Very
and that were likely foreign, and that all but 6 of the top 25 people who get a special VIP tour and a meet and greet with the president, all but 6 of those people are likely foreign buyers as well.
Maybe if somebody from the administration were sitting here right now, they'd say, so what? Who cares?
Sure, totally fine to borrow from Mr. Scaramucci's line. If you're not doing anything wrong, please be as transparent as you possibly can be. This is the president of the United States. These are influential people who have acquired shares in his company or in his meme coin, and on paper, every time the price of that coin goes up, the family stands to gain.
We have less than a minute left here, but does this draw larger ethical questions down the road? Campaign finance is a very highly watched and very disclosed industry here in the United States, but does that break down when it comes to crypto?
Certainly the Democrats think so, right? You've seen two Democratic senators, Schiff and Elizabeth Warren, file a letter asking for an investigation, and those are the exact points they're hitting on. We don't know who these buyers are. We don't know what they want from the president, potentially. And any matter of sunlight transparency is good to this, to not only the president, but to the crypto industry as well.
Just 20 seconds. Will we know after this dinner happens who was there?
Not as far as we know yet, but we're digging really hard.
But ostensibly, the Secret Service needs to know to do background checks and get an understanding.
Sure,
of who's
there's
going to
a
be,
whole
if the president does
And are they
indeed go
delegates
there.
or are they holders? Are they actually sending people?
Yeah.
That's a great question. We've got one of these meme core. It's called meme core. Are they sending their VP? Are they going to send someone who they, again, delegate? The Secret Service, we presume, is going to do the checks, but the White House has not told us exactly what they're going to do yet. So
Very interesting. Very interesting on how all that's going to work. Again, remember, most people in crypto probably, because they'll, now does your identity get leaked? Who knows? Like, who all was there? Does that guest list get made public somehow? And if you wanted to remain anonymous, and maybe it doesn't happen, who knows? Very interesting. I'll take a Big Mac, please, says Meninja Forf. I'm with you there. I am with you there. Let's see. Let's breeze through some charts. Let's see what we got going on, and then let's go. We don't have to breeze through them. My goodness, we can just look at them. Oh, you got a pizza day here on the 22nd in Swansea at the Duke of Wellington. All right, there you go. Wearing a tie, not in style. Not for crypto events, man. That's the whole thing. So when I had a fun time talking about this, and this was something, who was I talking to? I feel like it was somebody at that event. It might have been part of the conversation that I had with the Fitzy people about what was happening. When my experience of this is, because I'm a flip-flop, right? And so when you ask, is wearing a tie not in style? Not traditionally in crypto, right? We're a little bit more casual in nature. At least, that's the way it's been so far. If you're a crypto native now, as the industry has shifted, obviously you've heard me say, a lot more suits present, especially Consensus. It was very suit heavy. But the Bitcoin conference and Consensus have been that way for several years already. And when you hear me talk about the shifts and how, you saw these conferences go from movements to industries, I use the Bitcoin conference very specifically in that example. But for a very long time, Consensus has been the suit heavy, more executive style, C-suite level guys and gals, that kind of stuff. So wearing a tie is usually more optional. That's why they said black tie optional on the card there. All right, so let's do here. Boom. Do this, and we can. So this is what do we got here? This is the total crypto market cap. We did see a nice one. This is on the 30-minute. Let's go to the daily. That would make the most amount of sense here, and this way we can kind of get a sense of what's happening. I do like to say that we officially, had broken out of that downtrend that we were in for several months, right? It happened right, y'all. And so we are now in, it's time to draw a new line. So we can fix that one a little bit later. Take this one out of here. Get that out of here. So we're on our way back up is what it looks like. Now there may be some volatility. We may be some bounces. We could probably fix this a little bit right here. But look, what's nice is that we wicked off that thing perfectly. This is today, right? And so if we are on our way back up, maybe we get a bounce and then we keep rolling, get ourselves back up in the, that $3.5 trillion range. What is it? Here we go. Here's where we see the peaks. 364 with some bodies, with some candles. 374. David, polo shirts like I wear is about as dressed up as you'll find with most crypto people. Doesn't matter how wealthy they are. They like Michael Saylor or Rare from the build corporate business world. Yeah, I mean, even so there for a while, even the crypto bros were doing t-shirt sport coat, but that seemed to have gone away. You get a lot of just normal, and some people wear, they'll maybe dress a little bit more eclectic, or you have some really good fashion, you've got some terrible fashion, and then just a lot of just, normal stuff. But there was, at the conference over the week in Toronto, there was definitely a lot of suits. I wore a polo shirt. Whitney made me some branded shirts, and I had a polo shirt on one of my days. But yeah, usually just t-shirts or hoodies is for the most part. I may switch and start doing sport coats again for like occasional things, or definitely if I'm speaking, I think that would maybe make sense. Never a tie though. I'm not a tie guy. No way. No way. Bloomberg show they did not wear ties too. No. Oh yeah. There you go. Oh, I love the chat. Love you guys. Love to see you guys chatting and yucking amongst yourself. Thank you guys so much. Smash the like button. Let's go. All right. Others chart. Listen, these are my two favorites to look at. Now, I had said on the morning show, I know that we were all kind of hopiumed out, ready for altcoin season to happen, but we gotta be realistic here. And what I think we're gonna see is one more attempt at us touching the uptrend, let's go to the support level, and we're going to touch that one more time, which will also precipitate Bitcoin to get up to the 70% level that we need to get to. Now, let's put the dominance on the weekly because it makes it a little bit easier to see what I'm talking about. Because as you can see, historically, when we get to about the 70% level, drops. Now, this was a little bit, it's more of a spread out, and it didn't go down as much, but that's the number when it goes down. Same here. Boom, altcoin season, round 2. Now we have been going up a much different pace over the last several years. Now when we bottomed out about 40% ish, right? This is back in 2021. In May of 2021 it happened. Again, we were flirting around with again in January 2022. Once again, September of 2022, and then a final time at the end of November, or mid-November, 2022. And then from there, we've just been steady coasting up, man. But I feel like we got to do 70. So while we did see the drop from 65 down, to like 62 or 60, where actually did it drop? Most recently. So we got 62.5 was the low. And that was 2 weeks ago. So actually 61.89 last week. On this weekly chart here. So, I feel like it was like understandable that we could still move. It's not just straight up. There is some volatility to it. While it's not as wild and crazy, there is a little. And so while dominance dropped and we did see some altcoin action, it was fun, but that's not even remotely close to what we're going to see for altcoin season. And there was still some that had some pretty good gains, but the whole idea of just a little volatility and now it's on its way back up. Let's see this thing get to 70% is right here. Let's make this a little different. Let's go red 4 dotted line. Boom. All right. So that, in my opinion, is what we're waiting for, that we need to get to that red dotted line in order for us to max out. And we may go up over a little bit, but the whole idea of 70 to 70, I think 2 or 3% is the highest it's going to do, especially with as many coins as we have now. And it's still amazing to see it pull these kind of numbers with the amount of coins and memes and liquidity suckers that we've got. But at the end of the day, that was, just 2 weeks ago was just a little bit of a little shakeout before the breakout. Let's get this thing to 70. Let's flirt with what we got to do, even move up a little bit more, whatever. But then let's rocket ship back down into the 50s, 40s, whatever it is, creating what should be the ultimate altcoin season for you and me. Smash the like button if you like altcoin seasons. Smash the like button for Mrs. Chains. Absolutely. I'll be coming in some cutoff jeans and flip flops. Absolutely, cutoff jeans, flip flops, tank tops. Absolutely, man. I'm all for that. I am 100% for that. So, let's see what else we got here. What else we got here? Okay. Chart wise, let's see. So that was our others and our dominance chart. So we need others probably going to go down a little bit before it can go back up, because we need dominance to go up before it can go down massively. So just be patient. Just be patient. Let's see. We've got futures. That's Bitcoin sitting at 104.9. So we're down a little bit from where we started the show. We were back up over 105, but things are moving down. Where's everything else at? You got XRP 236. It is out of this. We can at least say that is done. Our little trend there is done, and maybe we're on a new uptrend here. We definitely don't want to do a red dotted line. But we're going to have to, I mean, everything, especially with last week, not doing any trades, everything is way out of whack. So we're going to have to put all of our lines back in. We're going to have to set all of our new alarms. Everything's dipping today on our list here, except for Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is the only thing going up. And CME futures, there's no, let's see if we go on the daily, there's no gaps, right? Did we create anything over the weekend? Nope. We're good to go. Let's see. How's the ETH chart looking? How's the PITH chart looking? Oh, golly, dude. Some things are just hanging out a little bit better than others, man. Look, ETH hanging tough. PITH, not so much so. H-bar, Morpho, hanging on. ONDO, not so much so. V-Chain, not so much so. SWI, hanging on. I know, PITH, man. PITH is tough. PITH's got having a rough go. We got to check our long con cup and handle by Solana. Look, guys, it's actually happening. It's happening. Let's come back down here. Let's ride up with this. Now it does kind of go back a little bit, so don't crush me for that. But we called this shit months ago with this long-term cup and handle. It's happening. And in case you forgot, we should probably, this jagged stuff right here, it's because Granny dropped the cup. She's got brittle little hands, and maybe her fingers, she's got arthritis, so her fingers didn't work so well. She was pulling the cup out of the pantry, and it slipped and fell. But being that we're good grandsons, we got out the super glue, and we got out the clampers, and we fixed Granny's favorite cup. So that's what that is that was just a chip that was chipped, but we fixed it. And so now we're back on track. So that's our long con cup and handle over on Solana. We've been talking about that one for a while. That one's fun for me. Virtual is back down below $2. That's a nice little comeback up on this thing, though. We got this thing here. Hey, bright future for virtuals, man. We're gonna be glad that we got that when we did at some point very soon. So as Ben Amp Knight said, appreciate the as Ben Cowan mentioned, we need alts to go home before we can pump big time. I can see one final 15 to 20% on alts. Absolutely. Let's go. Let's send it. Let's just make whatever we need to have happen so that alts can take the run. You know what I mean? Let's just make it happen. Just rip the Band-Aid off, because most of us are altcoin maxis. We are not Bitcoin maxis here. And if you are, it's okay. I still like you. You're just sick in the head. Just kidding. RIP that Band-Aid. Rip it. Speaking of ripping it, I believe that's it. For today. What else we got? We did our house cleaning. Make sure that you guys sign up for the Substack. That's what it was. If you guys are watching on the, let's see, if you are watching on X, let's see, if you go to my profile, is it in there? No, it is not. I'll have to get a post up so that you could. Now, what if we are on, is it on W3BC Media? I'll make sure that I get something up there so that you guys can find. I'll pin a post up there so that you can see what's going on with the Substack. But definitely sign up for it. The W3BC Media Substack. I send it out every weekend. We got some fun stuff that, just pretty much all the stuff that happens throughout the week. We send it out every Saturday. And whether it's IRL event happenings, trades, we're crushing trades, or, some news, some massive stuff in crypto, it's all in there. I have fun putting that together. That's my fun little Saturday morning thing. So you didn't almost get punched in the face, Doug. I would have punched you probably in the chest or in the tummy. Definitely not in the face, but I forget what it was, something, and Bitcoin was not performing. It was like one of those times where it was just like, wait, what did you say? We're there? That's right. All right. Well, I appreciate every single one of you that popped in today to come hang out and watch the show. Thank you. I will be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern with Web3 Breakfast. So come shoot the shit at the breakfast table. That's what it is, man. We just shooting the shit. We just chatting and hanging out, talking Web3, talking life, talking whatever. It doesn't matter. Just come vibe with us. And then I will be back tomorrow night tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, for more of the J Chain Show. That is it for me today. Y'all have a good one. Get ready for some of that content to come out. That was one of those things. Amp Night, man, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the super chats. Very kind of you. Thank you. The content's going to be coming out from Canada pretty soon here. And again, the whole idea of, what you heard me say this morning, if you made the show, was the 1% better. There was a few times that I was gassed, man. I was tired from talking. You go to the events at night and it's loud music, so you got to talk loud. So my voice was going, it was hurting. I didn't really feel like doing more interviews, but I kept pushing on, right? I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. Doug was there helping. He was helping motivate me. Mike was there. We had a really good crew, and I tell you what, like, it was just all about pushing to get the job done so that this can be better, so that I can improve where I'm at. And I tell you, some valuable lessons learned, and I hope that you guys understand this whole 1% better mentality and what it means to me and how it's changed my life and how it can change yours too. So from me to you, have a good one. Adios, amigos. We will see you tomorrow. Peace.